Neurodivergent people who are unmasked are way less programmable than neurodivergent people who are highly masking, or neurotypical people who are just naturally part of this very high masking societal functioning world, right? So the unmasked neurodivergents, the people who are like, take it as a compliment when someone calls them weird, they are going to be way less programmable than somebody who is desperately trying to fit the mold of what they think they should be in order to fit in and be successful in the eyes of society. And I see this heavily play out on somebody's fitness journey, especially for women. And so I am a women's fitness coach by trade. I usually only work with women. I have trained men in the past. To be honest, I just feel more comfortable training women only, just because working in some like male dominated fields, there can just, be those like lines that are blurred. It's like, oh, like, are they flirting with me? What, like, I don't want any of that. Like, I just truly, genuinely enjoy working with women and working with like in environments where I can like lift somebody up and like truly just like pour into them, and it's not like from some ulterior motive kind of place, and they know it's not from some ulterior motive kind of place. It's very much like and this is why I love, I'm going on a side tangent here, but this is why I love females and female friendships, and I wish more male friendships could be like this, like male and male and male versus female, where you can like genuinely lift somebody up without it being some lustful kind of thing. Or, men and men, like, I wish like they could lift each other up more without being accused of being gay. So anyways, back to the point, on someone's fitness journey, when they are highly masking, especially women, when they are being highly masking, they are more susceptible to falling for all of the fad diets, the quick fixes, all of those marketing schemes that big companies want them to fall for in order to promote whatever body is trending right now. So I see it's very popular that skinny is trending again, and it's very unfortunate that one, there's trends that go for women's bodies. It's usually not male bodies that have these trends. It's usually more like women's bodies, like what body type is trending this decade. Which that is a problem in and of itself, is like that it's only with women. But also, yeah, it's sad to see that it's like, okay, maybe last decade curvier bodies were in, and now this decade skinnier women are in, and it's like, let's quit with the trends. And this is where unmasked neurodivergents are so great, because unmasked neurodivergents aren't going to participate in a trend just because it's trending. So just because skinny is trending now and looking malnourished is trending now, like an unmasked neurodivergent isn't going to be like, yeah, I'm going to do that so I can fit in like everybody else. Like an unmasked neurodivergent's like, okay, well, that's trending. Like, is it healthy? Because sometimes some trends are good trends. Like some things that are trending, like right now, talking about mental health, I think it's kind of trending. Talking about being more openly neurodivergent is trending. I think that is a good thing. So I'm not hating on a trend just because it's a trend. And not all trends deserve to be blindly followed. So on somebody's fitness journey, when they are unmasked, when they are not just following a trend just to follow a trend, they are going to be way more likely to actually have healthy and sustainable habits, because they're going to say, okay, this is trending. This is what a lot of people are doing. Like, let me take a look at it. What's going on here? Is this healthy? Is it sustainable? Is this like what I really want to do with my life? Like, they have that sense of discernment to filter through like what is actually good and healthy and sustainable, and then what is just like fleeting quick fix, toxic trends, toxic dieting habits, toxic workout habits. And they're able to filter through with their sense of discernment. And the discernment also comes with more knowledge. So it's not just like unmasking and not just following trends just because they're trending. The discernment also comes with knowledge. So the more somebody learns about a subject matter, the less likely they are to be manipulated into doing something that is toxic or going to like leave them on this like never-ending toxic cycle with it. So the more they get educated about their body, about how their body works, about how body composition works, about, you know, ditching the scale and leaning more on body composition, because the scale is, it's a very like arbitrary number. It's very like shallow data point, where body composition goes way more in depth, and it's not like a shallow data point. It's like a lot more in depth. So when somebody is only relying on the scale, they're going to, you know, they might have an emotional reaction, emotional triggers tied to the scale, feeling like maybe if it goes down, it's good, or if it goes up, bad. And when they have those emotional triggers tied to the scale, and that's the only data point that they're using, and it's a very shallow data point, they're going to be more easily manipulated and programmable and falling for these toxic dieting schemes and quick fixes. So the discernment comes with, one, unmasking, and then two, the education part around it, and like really learning like what is good for my body. Because also just training to look like your best self. Like I'm training and I don't really have like an end physique goal, because one, my training is for life. Like I'm not like on some 8-week program or something where I'm like, okay, I want to look like this in 8 weeks. Like I have general body goals, like for aesthetic wise, but at the end of the day, I'm not like, okay, that girl, I want to look exactly like her. I might take inspiration from other people, but I'm not like holding on to this like idea like, okay, I gotta have glutes exactly like her, or I've gotta have arms exactly like hers, because we all have different genetics, right? Like we all carry our weight differently, we carry our body fat differently, we have like our abilities to build muscle is differently. Some of us are like taller and longer, some of us are shorter. So it's not good to compare your body to somebody else's body, especially aesthetic wise, because you could follow the exact same workout plan that they're doing, the exact same eating plan that they're doing, but you could get totally different results. And also it's like they might have a totally different background, or they might have built up a bunch of muscle first and now they're, you know, on a slight calorie deficit and then doing this workout plan, but they're really just, you know, losing a little bit of fat, and then they see this transformation. But if you've never lifted before and then you try to copy what they're doing, you're not going to get the same results as them, because everybody's journey is different. So taking away that piece of comparison, taking away that comparison to other people's bodies, and focusing more on your own body and what is going to be good for your body specifically, and trying to figure out, what do I need to do in order to become my best, healthiest self? Like, how can I train in a way that I feel good? And like, this is another thing. If you're only training for aesthetics, like aesthetics is a good thing to train for. Like we look in the mirror every day, yes. But if that's your only why you're training, it's gonna be very difficult to stick with it. I like to find things that are non-aesthetic reasons, like why I train the way I train, why I eat the way I eat. And those really help me want to keep training and eating the way I eat a lot more. Like the aesthetics are nice. Yes, I like looking in the mirror and I like looking at what I see. And I like that the positive changes that I'm seeing throughout time, throughout the years, I like seeing that. But if that is not the only thing that keeps me on this journey, especially not the only thing that keeps me doing healthy and sustainable habits, because I pay attention to like how my energy is. Because a very toxic thing that a lot of people do, and I used to be one of these people, so I'm not here like judging, but this is something that is very toxic to do. If you overeat one day and then you're like, okay, well, I'm gonna go do a bunch of cardio the next day, and then I'm going to eat really, really little. And then they're also still trying to like function at school or work the next day. They're trying to, you know, get back into the routine. They're trying to like function as adult, and then they're like over caffeinating because they're not eating much food. So they're like, I'm really tired, I need more caffeine to get through this day. And then they're like working out a bunch, they're just doing cardio to sweat because they feel like all the sweating will, you know, magically make all the food disappear. But they're losing a bunch of water. They're getting really dehydrated because they're losing a bunch of water sweating. They're drinking a bunch of caffeine. That's a diuretic, makes you pee more. So they're like extremely like dehydrated, underfueled, And then they're like wondering why, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. Like I ate all this food, but now I'm so tired. But like in reality, if they would just, so what if you have like a bunch of food one day? Like it happens to me all the time. Like I had a mouth surgery and I had like gum grafts and stitches. So the first week I was on a liquid only diet. And a week later I was like, yeah, screw this. I need something. Like pizza is soft enough. I'm going to eat a pizza. And I was so hungry. I ate the entire pizza. And then like an hour later, I'm like, oh my gosh, my stomach is so full. Like I should not have ate that. But instead of the next day, like doing a bunch of cardio and then like not eating anything, I just went right back to my normal eating routine, eating habits, working out habits the next day because I had so much energy by eating like my normal foods. And I had extra energy from that food that I had, like the excess food. So instead of going and doing a bunch of cardio and just sweating a bunch, I went to the gym and I hit legs because I'm like, oh, I have all this extra fuel from this food. So let me go hit legs because legs take so much out of my body. And so the more I can push myself during a leg workout, the more I am able to build strength, build muscle. And the more muscle I have, the more fat I'm burning at rest. So my body composition, like one day of overeating is not going to completely derail my progress, but a day of overeating and then super overcompensating and then undereating, over working out, over caffeinating, super dysregulating the nervous system, that will set you back because then you're going to be like on this toxic cycle because then you might repeat that throughout the week. Like, okay, I was really bad last weekend, so this weekend, let me just like make up for it. I'm going to eat like lettuce only and chicken breast and like move a bunch and barely eat and over caffeinate myself. And then you get like so hungry by the time the weekend comes again that you do it again. And then that's how the yo-yo dieting is, like the weekend warrior, yo-yo dieting, toxic cycle. It just repeats over and over again. So you have to shift your mindset out of that way of thinking and into a way of thinking where you were like, okay, I overate a little bit. How can I put this food and this fuel to the best use? So say you want to grow your glutes, because right now I want to grow my glutes more. I want to do pull-ups. I want to do more push-ups, Russian push-ups specifically. I kind of have them, but like needs a little bit of tweaking. Like I can always get better, get stronger, do more reps, do more pull-up reps. I want to grow my glutes. So if I overeat one day, you're not going to catch me doing a bunch of cardio the next day. You're going to catch me in the weight room. I'm going to be like, okay, well, I got all this energy. Let's put it to use because it's like a symbiotic relationship. Symbiotic. I don't remember the word. So like correct me in the comments, but it's like that mutually beneficial relationship where, okay, I had a meal that I really enjoyed. I'm not going to feel guilty about that meal because at that time I really enjoyed it. And now I have all this excess energy. I don't need a bunch of caffeine to go to the gym. And I also don't like drinking caffeine right before I work out because then I feel like I have to pee my entire workout when I'm hydrating and drinking water. So now I'm like, great, I don't have to have caffeine to go to the gym. And then I'm like, I can lift. I'll probably hit a PR on legs. I'll probably hit like a PR with pull-up reps and push-up reps. And then if you shift your mindset from that like toxic dieting cycle to this like unmasked, like actually taking control of your body, like not following toxic trends, the way that your body will actually transform in a very sustainable way that will actually last you so long, and you will actually get results that are not fleeting. Because I don't know about you, but I used to have this feeling where every time people would invite me to the pool or a boat day or a vacation, I'm like, oh my gosh, my body's not ready. And I would get this like sense of like panic and urgency. I'm like, no, okay, that's in 8 weeks. Okay, we gotta like write a plan out. We gotta do all this stuff. Like, what do we gotta do? I gotta go to the gym. I gotta do like the Stairmaster for 40 minutes a day, every single day. Like, I gotta like change the entire way I'm eating. And like, you probably tell by the way I'm talking, like that's how it was going in my mind. I'm like, it was like panic, like utter chaos and utter panic. And I literally used to be that way. So if you feel that way, like you're not alone. Like I'm not here to judge you because that's literally how I used to think. But now I'm going to tell you on the other side of that, where my body is not perfect. Like, I could sit here and pick apart my body and tell you all the things I don't like about it, but I'm not going to do that because I don't choose to like sometimes, yeah, that's where my mind goes, but that's not what I choose to focus on. I choose to focus on like all the positives about my body and the way like my body has transformed for the better over time. Like, it's taken years, but in a very sustainable way, my body has transformed over time. And now when somebody invites me down to the pool at my apartment, or somebody invites me on a boat, or somebody invites me on a vacation, or I have a vacation coming up, I'm like, great. Like, my panic then is like, ooh, what am I gonna wear? Let me put some outfits together. Like, that's the kind of panic I want, is like, ooh, let me like make sure I look super cute at the pool or at the beach. That's the kind of panic I want now. I don't panic anymore about my body because I've gotten so in tune with my body, and I'm in a very healthy relationship with my body. So I don't feel this like sense of panic of, oh my gosh, this trip is coming up. Like, how are we gonna prepare for this? I'm just like, okay, we got a trip coming up. Great, let's find some cute outfits. So it is very possible to go from one mindset to the other, but it does take, time and practice and like actually effort into putting in and growing a healthy relationship with your body. Like, it's just like relationships with other people. If you've only ever seen toxic relationships and you have never really seen like healthy love or, healthy friendships, platonic or not, it takes work. Like, it takes going, to therapy. It actually takes work and self-reflection to see, hey, how am I showing up in like a not healthy way in my relationships? And so it's the same thing when it comes to your body and with food and with workouts. You have to show up in a way that's like, hey, I want the best for myself, but maybe my actions haven't aligned with what I say I truly want. And so how can I do the self-reflection, take the accountability, and like work on having a healthier relationship with my body and with food, with workouts? And it's not going to be this like overnight flip of a switch, because you'll probably easily get triggered by certain things or trips coming up. And like, when you're on a sustainable fitness journey, the results that you actually want will take time to achieve. And so there will be things that will probably trigger you. There will be things, that come up that maybe friends or people that you're still surrounded with like the old mindset that you're trying to grow out of. There will be tons of things that try to like hold you back. So it's not going to necessarily be this overnight thing, but it is definitely possible if you really want it and you put your mind to it and you are actually willing to sit there and take the accountability and do the self-reflection enough to say, what can I do differently to show up better for myself, to be a healthier version of myself, like to have healthier thoughts around myself, my body, my fitness journey in general, the way that I eat, the way that I move, the way that I think about my fitness journey. Like, how can I show up in a healthier way? And if you are able to do that, you will achieve any goal. You can literally achieve any goal that you want to on your fitness journey. If you are able to sit back and do the self-reflection and say, like, what can I do differently to show up for myself in a more healthy and sustainable way? And if you're like, Emily, I hear ya, but I don't know where to start, I got you. I am a health and fitness coach. I train women and women only, and I coach only for longevity. There are plenty of coaches out there who coach for bodybuilding or other types of like competitions, and that's great if you want to do that, but that is not my niche, not my style. I am very much about sustainability on your fitness journey, longevity, training, in many different ways to make you an athlete for life, if you will. So we do, we incorporate the cardio, the weightlifting, the basics of posture. I did a pain-free performance certification. So it's basically an integration between being a personal trainer and a physical therapist. It's not at the level of being a physical therapist. If there's something where you're in that amount of pain or you need a physical therapist, of course, I will refer you out. I'm not going to practice outside of my scope of practice. But it bridges that gap between personal trainer and physical therapy. So that way I have that extra layer of knowledge on top of the personal training to see if you have different weak points. Like for me, I have this shoulder drops a lot lower. So I have to be very conscious. I have to work my right scapular retraction a lot more than my left side because I'm right-handed. So everything I do is in front of me with my right hand. So I have to work really hard on one area of my body, like specifically on the right side, in order to even it out. So very much how I will approach your fitness journey to see specifically for your body what needs to be even out in terms of posture, in terms of where your strengths are, your weaknesses. And we really focus on building that like core foundation first with your posture, your form, and then everything else builds on top of that. Because I'm not gonna have you out here like a Barry's fitness class the first day out, like, okay, do jump squats and then deadlifts. Like, you're probably gonna get injured if you do that. So we're not like some massive group fitness class where it's just gonna be like, oh, jump right into this and you have no idea what you're doing. Like, we build it from the ground up. So if you have no idea what you're doing, that's fine. You are literally in the right place. I will leave a link for a coaching inquiry below. Just fill out the short link and I'll email you back with the next steps.